If you are looking for the secret to being successful and making your Blackset, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, not only will you know what the secret is, you'll be armed with tools to be able to leverage that secret to its maximum potential. Let's get to it, folks.
Y ya no sabes lo que pasa.
El primer verso, papi.
Lo que manda aquí la clave.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Blackset movement, where we empower Black Americans in order to live their best lives by moving abroad. I'm your Blackset guide, Big Will, and I'm here because me and my wife used to be just like many of you. We were sitting in the States trying to figure out if this is the best that life can be. We were hounded by the racial oppression, the endless police violence, the mass shootings, the high cost of living. We finally made the leap and made our Blackset, and now we are fully baptized in the gospel of Blacksetting in order to live your best life. Alright, so let me jump right into it. The secret to your success in making a successful Blackset is very simple. It's all up here. It's in your mind. You have to be mentally prepared and tough for what is about to happen. You are about to do something that most people will never ever even attempt to do. I'm not saying that because the act of exiting the U.S. is hard itself. It really isn't. It's going on vacation and taking some steps before that vacation, because you might not be coming back. There's a few more steps involved, but it's pretty simple. You buy your ticket, you find a place to stay, and then you go there. The hardest part of the process is severing the bond to that American way, that sense of who you are and your sense of identity that has been wrapped up into nationality. We were all born within the Matrix, and the Matrix does a very good job. I use the Matrix because it's mass media. Everything in print and television and movies since the time that we were children has been educating us and conditioning us to react to things a certain way, to believe things a certain way, to believe certain histories. So the hardest part of making a successful Blackset is getting prepared for the mental toughness that's going to be necessary for you to deprogram yourself. And I don't use that word lightly. I've been where you are. As soon as I told one of my friends that we were thinking about moving out of the country, he looked at me and said, "Come on, Will, you'll never give up the American way of life." American way of life? What are you talking about, player? The mass shooters? So let me just give you some quick examples of some of the things that you're going to have to work on changing what you've been taught and getting that out the way and making room for what the reality really is. Number one, safety. One of the questions that we got hit with the most when we were in the process of making our Blackset was, is it safe there? That's a laughable question coming from someone from the United States. I mean, really, the United States is a nation that has gun proliferation. Guns are easier to get than healthcare. So you have mass shootings all the time. As of today, there's just another mass shooting in Chesapeake Bay. I'm quite sure by the time I finish editing this video, it'll take me a couple of days to edit this video. There'll be another mass shooting. And that's just, the high-end crime. The everyday crime, the rates are just through the roof. When you look at the number of homicides per year, the U.S. is leading the planet by and large. It's crazy. And this is all happening while the Matrix is making you feel that you're safe and you're secure. Meanwhile, your kids are doing active shooter drills in school. Another aspect of safety could be your access to health care. do you have access to health care? The United States is where your health care is tied to your employment. Most places are socialized. You get health care just because you're a citizen and, you're paying taxes. It's crazy. So you're going to have to change how you view that word safety. Here's another thing that you're going to have to change: how you view people, culture. We've been taught as Americans that, again, we're number one, and we look down on poor little tink in their little culture because they do things differently than us. Look, people, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. As long as the cat is skinned at the end of the process, no one's really tripping about the where or how or when. You need to be mindful that the United States is a relatively young country. When you look at other places on the planet, most of the places around the United States have been there for way longer, twice as long, 3 times as long, going back centuries. The United States is 400 years old. Not even 400 years old. So that's just how long, they've kept us on the continent. It's a young nation, so you need to be mindful that that culture that you were born with isn't necessarily the best way to do things. And I don't want to get into equivocation contest, what's better or worse than the other thing. Look, again, it's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. All I'm trying to say is you need to be mindful of being respectful of other cultures. Don't look down necessarily just because you don't understand the way that they do a thing. They don't understand the way you do things either. A third and perhaps most crucial part of the deprogramming that you're probably going to have to do in order to be successful in moving abroad is you're going to have to change the way you view yourself. All right, so what do you mean, Will? The way you view yourself in the United States is typically viewed through your employment. We see ourselves as our jobs. I'm a pilot. I'm a lawyer. I'm a business development executive. I'm a computer programmer. I'm a SharePoint developer. We see ourselves as our occupations, and everything in the state seems to be about working hard and, putting your head down. And, you too can be rich if you just work hard enough and put your nose to the grindstone. So we kill ourselves with 60-hour work weeks. We work 2 and 3 jobs. And then when it's all over, we have no sense of identity. So lesson learned should be, don't be wrapped up into what you do for a living. That is your income. That is how you earn money to eat. That is not who you are. Who you are is the person that likes to go jet skiing or, likes to take walks and hikes through mountains and jump off of cliffs into waterfall pools at the bottom. Who you are may be parasailing, or maybe you want to learn how to play the tuba. That's who you are. It is not the lawyer. It is not the judge. It is not the healthcare advisor. It's not the school teacher. That is not who you are. It's what you do. All right, so another helpful ingredient for your success in making your Blacksit, you're going to have to learn to be flexible. You're going to have to learn to be patient. That's because you're going to be doing some things and learning things anew for the first time. Some of the things you take for granted, you're going to have to relearn how to do that, like getting a driver's license. That's something that you're going to have to learn how to do. And in some cases, you're probably going to have to take another driving test again. Be flexible with the process. Other countries, everybody has bureaucracy. Everybody has red tape. So let's start there. The bureaucracies can be different. And some places, like for instance, we're in Panama. Panama is very process oriented, and we learn quickly. Don't expect things to move too quickly. Just, pack some patience, and let them get through the process. They will be able to deliver what it is that you need at the end of the process. It might not be McDonald's Big Mac as quick as you're used to, but at the end of the process, you're going to have a way better hamburger sandwich than you would have gotten at McDonald's. How about that? Pardon the interruption. I'll only be a second. If you could please be so kind as to hit that like and that subscribe button to help this channel grow. Thank you so much. So learn to be flexible. Another reason you need to be flexible is because you will never, no matter how much planning and no matter how much research you do, you will never be able to plan for everything. Just get that out of your head. Don't even worry about it. I mean, think about your life in the United States. You made a plan to go to college. For some of us, that plan didn't probably go as well as it should have. I know for me, it took a lot longer than it was supposed to. Had to be flexible, make some changes. Wanted to buy a home. Well, sure, we didn't just go out and buy a home the first time. That plan had to be readjusted and had to make some changes. And, we had to be flexible. That is the same type of thing that you're going to be employing in your new country. You're going to have to pack some patience. You're going to have to be flexible because it's going to be some surprises. The plumbing in your apartment might not work. So you've been learning the language and you know how to order in restaurants. You can catch taxis. You can ask for bathrooms. You can go to the bank and do simple things. But no one's taught you plumbing yet. And now you got to have a complex conversation about plumbing, which is a topic that you've never heard before. You got to be flexible. Things are going to happen. And one thing to keep in mind about those things or the challenges that are going to happen, they're going to feel bigger to you because you're not from here. So what is a simple problem becomes a little bit bigger because you're not from here. Example, my car battery died and I had jumper cables, but again, my language skills, I know how to ask for the bathroom, I know how to order an omelet really, really well. I mean, all the ingredients and everything. I know how to talk about red dresses and stores and shoes. I don't know how to talk about battery. I don't know how to talk about cables. I don't know how to talk about power. So I had to be flexible. Luckily, Google Translate is there, so in those times it works, but you still have to be patient. You have to be, have some sense about you because people are talking to you and you're trying to respond to them and do things in a timely fashion. Pack some patience, be flexible, and just realize that the challenges that you can face are going to seem a lot bigger than they really are simply because you're new to it. Another question that I see often online is people want to jump to citizenship. I was inundated with that. Are y'all getting Panamanian citizenship? What are you going to do with your U.S. citizenship? Look, folks, the exercise is not about getting citizenship unless you're one of the few people that are going to go to some place that has some really unusually good perks for being a citizen. And 99% of the cases, it's going to be about obtaining residency. That's what you need to be focusing on. What does it take in order to be a resident? Look, I'm not going to give up my U.S. Citizenship. I might not be in love with the United States anymore, but blood, sweat, and tears went into it, and all my tax dollars. So whatever benefit I got coming my way, I'm going to keep hold of that. I am establishing, and we are establishing, permanent residency here in Panama, and we may choose a couple other places just to keep a necessary passport or entry pass, get out of jail card free, if you want to call it that, in your back pocket, because life happens. But don't be so focused on becoming a citizen. In most cases, it takes a long time and a lot of work to get citizenship. Residency can be done very, very quickly. I mean, weeks or months versus years of being a citizen, taking citizenships, tests and all that good stuff. So just focus on residency. We thank you so much for watching us, and we truly hope that you have found some value from the tips and the advice that I've been able to share over these last few minutes. I just want to let you know some ways that you can help support and help this ministry grow so that we can continue to help people get good information so that they can mix and blacks. I'm very pleased to announce that our Big Wheel TV merchandise store is officially open. Y'all, we have some really good merchandise here. If you've been watching the show, the merchandise is related to the things, of course, that you've seen on the YouTube show. So you can celebrate your Blackset as Black's a veteran. If you're in progress or your Blackset is loading, we got some great gear here for you. We've got some things to keep you motivated on your Blackset, and one of my personal favorites, my Mark Safe line. Y'all, once you've made it to freedom, celebrate that. You have been marked safe from racial oppression. You're marked safe from mass shootings. And Lord knows, you're marked safe from Donald Trump. Keep in mind that I also offer consultations to people that are looking to come to Panama specifically, or just starting out on your Blackset journey in general. You can get to me on my Facebook page. It is at Big Wheel TV. Once you're there, just click on the big blue Book Now button that connects directly to my calendar, and you can book a 1 hour session and bounce all your questions off of me. And we will do it by video chat, and we'll have a good time, share some ideas, and make some good friends. And of course, you're always free to make donations to help support the show. My Cashapp and PayPal will be linked in the description below. We appreciate everything. This is a one-man show. Try so hard to keep you fed with information, so hope that you're finding some value. So after you've successfully mastered deprogramming yourself from the matrix, you can start enjoying some of the benefits of being an expat, just like we do. And one of the best benefits is travel. Y'all, the travel from here is so cheap. As a matter of fact, take a look at this video right here and see what we just did in Cartagena. Oh my God, you gotta see it.